Greetings, I'm Les.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play an Owlpaloo game together.
Yes!
So this
it's so cute.
It's so adorable. I mean, the logo is really adorable. So this is Owlpaloo, and a disclaimer. Disclaimer.
This is a demo for the visual novel Play Me Like You Love Me. It does not reflect the final product, and some assets are yet to be finalized. The end product will feature more scenes and more characters. Things like incorrect sprites, grammar mistakes, and game bugs, such as not an Oxford comma, will be fixed in the final game.
Owlpaloo! All right.
Play Me Like You Love Me.
Yes! So this one has a really, I think, playful but silly premise. It wasn't actually the premise that got me. It was the structuring of it that got me. So I ran into this on Tumblr and went and looked it up on their game site.
Right.
And what they're describing is not that you're dating someone, but that you're helping other people date people.
Right.
And so that's what the game description is.
All right.
That the instruments, people's instruments, they're all in band, and the instruments turn into people.
So as somebody who was a band geek for a while, okay, I'm like, what instruments do you have? I was curious.
And
about
the
that
instruments are going to turn into attractive, dateable people. Because, of course, all game people have to be attractive if they're going to be dateable.
Right, or conventionally
rules.
attractive, because there's actually lots of people who are very attractive, and it could be because you end up finding them attractive as time goes on.
That's why I said games.
Yeah.
Specifically games.
I know, because they're like, we can't trust you to spend time on
spend
people.
time getting to like them. They have to look interesting first.
It's true.
Anyway, so we're just going to get into this. But the idea is, as far as we know, you get these instruments that turn into people, and then you're going to help them date the people who play them.
Right.
So you're going to kind of support couples. It's got a lot of different endings. I can't remember how many endings it has, but it was quite a few, they said.
I don't know.
9
So,
different endings or something?
You want to start a club?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you are correct.
Whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let me just get you the papers you need to fill out.
All right. So we understand that we have a named and sprited main character.
Which is another reason why we thought this was very interesting,
Which
because
sounded
at
like
least
fun.
for us, like we find that sometimes a lot of writers find it much easier to actually write a character that has a lot of direction, rather than writing more or less a blank slate character, which can be very frustrating.
A very hard time. Find it to be very hard to play a self-insert character. One, because we're playing together, and there's two of us, then we're a little different. But also two, because what we would choose is never available.
It's true. So club activity.
Music club, ma'am.
A music club? Club president.
That would be me, ma'am. Jillian Gray.
Please show your student ID.
Here it is. Of course. Whoosh! I was ready. I was so prepared. Ow. I didn't
Thank you,
mean to-
Jillian. That was my nose.
Sorry, your face.
Oh,
know
you're
that's
adorable.
hilarious.
Main character Gray.
Main character Gray. That's cute.
MC Gray.
Jillian, main
She's
character
the
Gray.
MC.
She's the MC. That's really...
Saladin High School, higher education, student ID, class C-5.
Is it Saladin or Saladine?
It could be Celandine.
Celandine.
Celandine High School.
Celandine. That's great. She's adorable. I love it.
Jillian Gray. Please explain your club activities.
Right. All right. Well, we want to come together and learn to play instruments. We are all beginners, so it's nice to have a plan or a place where you can still learn to play with people on the same level. And
So very casually out of the game, one of the things that we've also experienced. So I wish they had more of an option, especially in terms of like games that are like on a computer. So this is on a computer currently.
Yes.
Is that for my dear friend Liza over here? She is dyslexic.
So
sometimes the font is very difficult to read for her. So if I had a personal request, is maybe like if some people could consider adding in maybe like a dyslexic font to their games. I know that might be a lot more work for some people, and I recognize that, though I feel like in some ways it's just a font switch.
Yeah.
And I know for some people they go, but that'll ruin my special fancy fonts that I fit everything. It's like, it does make it easier
for someone who's dyslexic to read your stuff and to perform it well. Now, if I was performing this, like I say, professionally, because this would be semi-professionally, then I would actually read it over beforehand and get a strong, basically, like predictive memory of it. So I know how the writer writes, and I know what's expected of me as far as my lines.
Right.
Or I would just memorize them so I could say them if it's just my lines as, an actress.
Right.
But in this case, reading it blind, having larger type or a little bit bigger spacing or a very clear font is super helpful.
Gosh, it's so helpful.
Anyway, so onward we go.
All right, clicky. In less than 30 words.
Oh, right. Twitter speak, of course.
Hi.
Yes. We learn to play instruments on a very low level together.
Amateur musicians. All right.
Right. That's just 2 words. All right. Oh, here we go.
Okay,
we
so
gotta choose. You can have different paths. I can go. I don't know what I want to choose. Maybe you can save it and do more, more choose your own stuff. Okay.
Oh,
so
they have a ton of save slots.
look at that.
Oh dang! This game is we expect this. This is just gonna happen.
So you can do 900 different options. I would say one of the other reasons I was interested in playing this game was the way the author pitched it was very straightforward. They said you're walking through a linear visual novel, and yet nonetheless you have a lot of choices. And so you're choosing what you do to get to different endings, but it's very much a choose your own adventure style, which we recently did with a there's a bear outside kind of thing.
Right.
But instead of saying make your own story, be your own character, which a number of the other ones have pitched, this one says you're going to be walking through my story, but you can see different pieces of it depending on what you choose. And I like that. That presentation gives me a different expectation.
Yes.
That's helpful. Club
necessities. Thank you.
Right. We would like to have instruments for each member. One, that's a tall demand. You guys don't have your own instruments?
What instruments?
Oh. Do we need to fill that out right now? One of us is still thinking about it.
It can be changed later on. It's not like the principal cares where all his money... Ooh.
Oh, we are in a big fancy school.
I was about to say, that is an incredibly fancy school because... So
Most
as somebody
budgeting.
who was going to play a bassoon and really actively wanted to get one eventually, there was a breakdown for me of going holy cow, getting a good bassoon was about $5,000 plus,
Yes.
period.
Bassoons are not as cheap as some other
don't
things.
care where your money goes. And considering how poorly, at least in the United States, so this is our background, since we are coming from the United States, the arts programs are not very well funded at all. So they tend to actually be
general.
heavily criticized in the United States, and a lot of them have actually lost in regards to several public school education programs.
But if you are a fancy private school, then you can have as much money as you want thrown into it if you have the money.
Right.
All right. Change later on. A piano, please. Whoa. A violin, left-handed.
Ooh, I like the specifics.
Are there left-handed violins?
Yes.
Oh.
Because they change them differently. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad I learned something. A saxophone as well.
I'm also wait, what kind of class are you doing? Because
So
you
as
usually
far
don't have a violin with a sax. So, as in regards to whenever I did band...
So what she's saying here is we're completely all inexperienced. We just feel like it'd be fun to play instruments. We're playing instruments we choose. They're not trying to create a band, an orchestra, and anything. They're just going...
That's
each of us-
depressing.
That's kind of disappointing. But
Because it's also this has to specifically be a club. It doesn't sound like they have either orchestra or band.
I would say either that or they're all going, none of us are good enough to be in orchestra or band because
So they're going to
it's
establish
late
an
in the game or something like that, or just going, everybody else who's in orchestra, seemingly in our school or in band, is already more experienced than all of us who don't know any instruments.
Right.
And we want a club so we can practice together. Even if we were going to join those things, there wouldn't be anyone to practice with that's on our level.
Okay, that's fair.
And a set of drums and a guitar.
All right. We can't accept any clubs that have less than 5 members.
Yes, absolutely. But me and my best friends are enough. That's 5.
Just tell me their names so I can write it down, miss. No backstory needed.
I will try and keep it simple. Of course. And
I'm
very practical. I got this. Sorry, I'm really excited. We've been talking about this and we want to... No backstory. Right, here we go. Half a year later, 6 months in. How is your plan been going? Is everything on fire?
later.
Look at the potted plant. We have lost our braces.
Ooh.
We have changed our hair and styled it up a bit. No fuzzy sweaters for us. Those pigtails are adorable. I'm sorry, they're really cute.
They're really cute. Go ahead.
You guys are doing it wrong. I don't know what my personality is yet.
We did?
I thought it went all right.
Me too? Your friends are all adorable, and
They
I'm getting
are
extremely,
really cute.
almost like casual Dream Daddy vibes. I feel like the way
with
the
the
stylus is very
pastels
crisp.
and the fun colors and very crisp.
I must say, I love that thing about going it's really underutilized in gaming. Go for bright colors, because dark
Also,
colors are everywhere.
So many people skip outlines. The white outlines, like the paper doll kind of feel, is really fun.
It makes them pop very
It makes
strong.
them more distinctive. Like they aren't like this. This is a game that has a cleaner feel to it. You all have tiny pupils though.
Right?
Like, woo.
Itty bitty, teeny weeny. They also look
It's
a lot
really
like
bright
Kingdom
in here.
Hearts characters, and I think they're very adorable.
I love the nerd shirt though too. That's very cute. All right, we don't need all right. We need perfect. I look over to the guy holding the saxophone. We've been friends ever since our moms started to hang out when we were 8 years old. From everyone here, I've known him the longest. Elijah? All right. So, we're going to have to figure out who is who in here.
Right.
So we can do this. Because honestly, if I'm going to do the MC, I probably have a lot more lines. Do you want 3 people?
I could do that. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Sure.
All right.
Okay, so,
All right. Where is your soul?
Sir, where is your soul?
Sir, where is your soul?
Excuse me, my almost brother. Where is your soul?
Where is your soul?
My soul?
Not on your shoes. Again, you play the notes perfectly, but I'm not feeling any soul.
Oh no, not this.
God. You don't play it with emotion. You need to feel. Everyone go home and write 5 nice things about your fellow classmates. Because 2-set violin knows what they're talking about.
It was great. You're like, what?
So good. You know
bad.
what? This is going to be a music club with a violin, 2-set violin. Maybe we should
It really
review
is.
this.
They should.
They should review it. That would
You're
be great.
not feeling any soul.
I'm not feeling any soul.
All right.
Then I go to the girl behind the drums, nervously looking down. Me and Elijah met her in 4th grade. She didn't have any friends. She always got teased for her tall, lanky body and her love of anime and manga. I reversed that. So
Yeah, I was
anyway.
at 4.
So we decided to be nice to her. Because we don't mind anime and manga at all. It's super fine.
I
look like an anime character, so we're okay.
We're good.
We quickly become great friends as well. Became. Sorry, thank you. Became.
I'm like,
Aiden? Aiden?
I think it's Aiden.
Aiden. All right, there she is.
Yeah?
You are our drums, our rhythm. Don't forget that. You lost the beat a couple of times. So am I supposed to be grumpy about this, or am I supposed to just be like, I'm trying to lead you? I'm trying to figure out if we're supposed to be like snippy about it, like I'm annoyed we've been trying this for a while, or just like I'm trying to encourage you all and I don't know how to do it.
Right? I did?
Yes. We are relying on you. If you mess up, we can all mess up.
One of the things
Basically
is that for
conducting.
you, I would say just pick something, and then if it
And then
goes somewhere else,
I'll do it. All right,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna be a little bit more terse then.
All right.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm a bit distracted lately. Sorry.
Well, get your mind straight again. We can't use this right now. I move over to the short girl in the corner, who pretends to clean her violin. While Elijah, Aiden, and me were all in the same grade, she was in the special class for higher educated children. Oh, she's the smart girl.
Ooh, she's the very
But
smart
just
girl.
like Aiden, she got teased. This time for her buck teeth and buggy eyes.
Okay, so I have to say, like,
Are we
I don't know, like, for me, in terms of writing, whether or not then does that mean that Jillian also thinks she has buggy eyes? So I have to say that buggy eyes itself as a descriptor, while I understand it can be used as such, it tends to be mostly be used as a derogatory statement.
Yes.
She says, like, I don't know, like, is
it like
Jillian supposed to be that mean? Or potentially, or again, like, I could be wrong. I'm
Or
like,
she just describing what happened in the past. I met her when she was being teased for these things.
These things
And
that
these
other
are the
people
words
describe.
that people use. They
Right.
called her bug eyes, they called her buck teeth.
And I understand, again, this can also just be a writing convention, though sometimes I have questioned, even in terms of, like, finished material, where characters will use specific words, and you're like, that seems really harsh coming out of your mouth?
If I was in my own head as Jillian, would I be using those terms to describe my friend?
Yeah, exactly.
That's, I think, the question we're driving at here. Also, yeah, I'm
and
kind
again,
of
I know
going
this
the-
isn't finished, so this is not necessarily meant to be a critique. It's a question
no.
also of, like, writing conventions in general.
Yes,
So-
and to the author, if you see this, what we're doing is sort of exploring our experience, where there's no, since we know this is unfinished, and walking up to someone who's drawing something and going, that looks funny, and they're going, I'm not done yet.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
You know that you haven't finished an eye yet?
You don't have an eye at the other side, really? So
Yes.
we're just kind of having an experience as for the material that is here, and we understand this is an unfinished product, and we would like everyone watching this to understand that as well.
and
Which
that's-
is why the disclaimer.
Aha!
All right, here we go. She got teased for these. Seeing how we didn't tease Aiden, we didn't tease Aiden like other kids did. She asked us to be friends, so she approached you.
Okay.
Of course, we said yes. September.
There's a lot of, like, names.
Her name is September.
Uh-huh.
Oh, can I do September?
You were doing September.
I was.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
I gotta. September looks extremely shy. Uh huh. I don't know how many times I've told you this, but do more than just look at your violin. I know we're beginners, but whenever we stand on stage, we shouldn't only sound good, but also look the part. Okay?
There's also a certain amount of it, particularly like for what I know about doing violin for this poor little thing here, and this is not a critique at all for the writer. This is just about me going like character-wise, and also doing violin is really having very good posture is a part of doing violin and doing it well.
I was going to say, it's not even necessarily looking the part so much as you have to stand a certain way to achieve the right angles for your strings, as well as to care for your hand.
I imagine tons of people in the audience know who Lindsay Sterling is, but if you don't, feel free to go look her up. Even in regards to where she actually moves, so she dances while she plays the violin, which is one thing that people thought was very noteworthy about her when she was initially, was initially out on the internet.
And
right?
a lot of people also thought it was noteworthy in a good way and a bad way. You had both responses. Noteworthy being you can't do that and play properly because your posture, and other people going, but she can move and play.
Right? But it's also if you notice the way though she dances, she is very strict in terms of how she keeps her upper body.
Her shoulders, yes. The way she holds herself in reference to her violin, it is mostly lower body movement and very controlled waist bend. She still has great violin posture.
Yes.
Based on my understanding of violin posture.
Yes. And I could be wrong, but as far as even I can tell, she has a very consistent experience for the shoulders back and the way she holds herself.
And how her arm placement is.
Yes, exactly.
And the thing is two-set violin, actually, they have great enthusiasm for practicing and practicing well, and they actually do criticize a lot of media posture for holding your violin and stuff, because the posture is super important to achieving your sound and caring for yourself.
Yes.
All right. With you just looking down and nowhere else, it's weird. Yeah, I understand. I'll work on it. Great. And finally, I go to the girl standing behind the xylophone. We ended up getting a xylophone.
Ooh.
She transferred to our school in 5th grade. Everyone thought she was weird because she barely talks.
There's a lot of these very awkward girls. Have you noticed all the girls are awkward stereotypes?
And my friend, I've known him forever, but all the girls who joined, it's a bunch of girls that join the group, and they're all super awkward.
Right, and the guy seems mostly disenfranchised more than just I'm socially awkward. He's just sort of I don't know, I'm here.
I wonder if that's what they're going for, though. This is the reason you have a special music club, is basically because she's trying to bring the nerds together in a safe space.
Right, maybe.
I bond with awkward people and feel connections to them for one reason or another.
But also then I'm wondering, how did Jillian make friends with people like this? And again, that's not to say that you can't, but usually for me, it really is actually a thing they even talk about in terms of psychology and sociology. People who get along and who are similar in terms of personality and interest and whatever else really do, those are the ones that go together. It is birds of a feather flock together. It is not opposites attract.
It can be opposites are curious about each other, but they don't stick together for long periods of time without developing a lot of common interests and becoming more alike each other.
Yes.
Yes. But also even some common behaviors. You have to develop communication that works between you, etc.
Yes.
I love how there's actually sound panels in the sound room.
Isn't that cute?
So good. People don't usually do that.
That's an awareness piece.
It's an awareness piece. It's super fun. Anyway, I was going to say, but I would tend to say that her ID, the one she gave to the person who was trying to start the club, is an indicator that she used to be more nerdy. If you look at the visual coding of how she was set up on there, and so she used to connect to nerds more, and it looks like she's trying to redefine herself based on the dramatic
No, I
change.
hate also that's the nerd look. And also I find that to be very frustrating too, because I know a lot of people are I have braces, I look terrible.
Right.
And I'm
I have braces.
That experience.
Yeah. I have braces currently, but anyway, so that's and again, we're not talking about the author, we're talking about social conventions here of going using we know what nerd visual stereotypes are, and it's frustrating that we have them because lots of professionals get braces, and honestly, if you're going to work in a visual industry,
so much
it's
adult
important to get
shaming
braces.
Around braces.
If you didn't get braces when you were younger, you can't get them as an adult because that's weird. They even had, and this is funny because I've never watched the show, I've just walked through it in waiting rooms and stuff, they even had a whole Sex and the City episode about braces and how it's awkward for an adult to have them. Because one of the characters tried to get braces to correct her teeth, and she just couldn't get over basically how she felt like she had to explain herself to absolutely everyone.
All right,
anyway,
fine.
All right. We thought she was foreign, but it turns out she was just really shy. A lot of shy going on
There's
here.
a lot of shy.
One day, she just sat with us, and it never changed. It took us some time, but she opened up to us eventually. And Sally... Okay, so I've got Sally and... What's her name?
September.
Okay, so I've got the two really shy girls. I want to give Sally... I want to make her British. That'd be super cute.
They thought she was a foreigner, but she's not.
She's not. I know, but I want to give her a British accent anyways.
Why don't you flip it around and give her more a southern accent? So September is who I'm pointing at. And then Sally more of that softer voice.
So then that way I could do that.
Because part of the thing is, so I went, you could give her, something maybe a southern accent, but I went,
but that's very stereotypical for darker skin.
Yes, it's true. So
I love her natural hair. It's very poofy and cute.
It's very adorable.
Super cute. Okay. So, I will. I'm going to switch their voices up, okay? Your work on the xylophone was great, but it's a glockenspiel. She's so the font is tiny. That's so cute. It's a glockenspiel. But don't you ever drop your sticks again. We really are. We are being stern.
Wow. I'm also like, are we okay? Jillian, what happened?
Jillian, you're freaking out.
Jillian, my lady.
Oh, wait. Was that
Why are we saving again?
Save.
Yes, we can overwrite. It's fine.
Did it just go to save?
Yeah, it just did that on its own.
Okay. Maybe it's helping you that you're going to like encounter a choice here or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right. Hey, you're lucky it wasn't a live performance. Sorry. So tiny. The font says so much. I like you can, even while having a font that's easier for people who with dyslexia to read, having the size change or using like punctuation is super helpful.
Right.
It's always the same issues with you guys.
Wow, harsh.
It's been half a year since we started this club, and I still need to correct all of you.
But is that what you started your club for?
I feel like you've changed your modus operandi since 6 months ago.
Yeah,
You've changed your focus.
I wonder if that's actually also going to be part of Jillian's story of going
Part
like
of her
she's
arc.
is the fact that she's really heavily started to disconnect from her friends. She suddenly, changed her style and her fashion and everything else. And now a lot of them, they probably also feel very alienated by her of going like, you're our friend and we do not know what to do with you anymore.
Yeah. All right.
I like, honestly,
A little more.
Yeah.
I'll say, learning. That's September.
Learning.
All right. Say, learning an instrument takes time. There we go. I can do that.
Was your piano work perfect then?
Oh. I didn't hear anything wrong with my performance. No. I was listening to everyone else's. Or do you have some criticisms to give so I can improve? I would love to hear that. We are being snippy. Well then, pigtails are still super cute.
Yes.
I got us another performance next month. We need to be ready for it.
I'm also really
On the
entertained
other
because I
hand-
haven't seen the pigtail, like mean girl-ish kind of like snippy person for a while.
Oh,
Do you remember that
okay.
used to be really popular in like the 90s or
Because the
something?
pigtail girl was the popular girl with the pretty
Uh-huh.
hair. Yep, and then
I-
it fell out of fashion.
I'm actually having some weird deja vu when I was looking at something. I'm like, this is very 90s.
This is very 90s. I was say, but actually, okay, so what I'd like to do here, like before we wrap this up, because
Yeah.
this is probably good for first episode, is talk about how it seems like she's moved more to your traditional standard of a choir master. Instead of going, we have a casual club where we can slowly learn to play our instruments, and we are a
She
club
got
for
more
beginners.
invested.
So all people that run their own orchestras or their own like their own music groups that I've seen, if they run them, they go, you have to perform. Like everything that I've ever encountered with, putting kids
yeah.
either into music programs or into dance programs or into anything, whether it was like my brother and his stuff, and he did a lot of extracurricular activities where I didn't when I was, living at home, and or if it's like, kids I've known and stuff, or like when I've done babysitting and things in the families I've been attached to, there's a lot of experience of going, when you put kids into an art, people go, they need to then perform. It's
Yes.
important that they have an art show, it's important that they have a dance show, it's important that they have a music show, and so she's treating this more like a professional, going, so the first thing you need to do is perform, and that's the most important thing, and they're all going, but if this is a club for beginners don't need to perform. And also what I've always argued in my own connection to it, going, what if I don't want to perform? Sometimes you can play something for your own edification with no drive to professionally perform.
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably the motivation we're working with her, and that helps me connect to her as a character, going, you have moved away from, we're all going to just be beginners, to going, but we need to have a structured element, which means eventually we have to perform, which means what we need to do is prioritize performing.
It's also possible that she's freaking out. I don't say freaking out lightly. In terms of going like she's concerned, basically what she might have gotten pressure that the others might not have received from teachers or whoever, maybe
You're
like the vice
running the
principal.
club, what's your club
doing? Which actually starts happening
Is it
sometimes. They go,
producing
your
anything?
club needs to have a return on investment. We gave you these instruments. What the crap are you doing?
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, guys, though, for joining us.
Yeah.
If you really like what we do, please feel free to check out our Patreon or
Like,
our Ko-Fi.
comment,
Like,
subscribe,
comment,
all
subscribe.
that.
Yes.
We plan to do a couple more of these and see more of this game, so check us out again, okay?
Yeah, so I have been Scandal.
And I have been Liz. And
it was great playing with you.
Bye!